In my previous life, everyone called me a fat pig. No matter how much I starved myself, exercised, or swallowed diet pills, the numbers on the scale only climbed higher. Might win sister. Lavinia, the beloved food influencer with tens of millions of fans, ate mountains of greasy food every day yet somehow maintained a flawless 98-pound figure. My mother called me a disgusting hog. My grandmother cursed that I should just die. Even my sister found amusement in mocking my body. Driven by grief and despair, I chose to stop eating altogether until I starved myself to death. Only after dying did I finally learn the truth. Lavinia had been bound to a fat transfer system. Every ounce of fat she gained was automatically transferred to me. Without limit. Without mercy. When my soul was consumed by resentment and unwillingness, a blinding white light enveloped me. Do you wish to bind a system? A voice asked. I laughed through gritted teeth. Yes. This time, I would make every bite she took turn into a knife carving into her own flesh. When I opened my eyes again, I had returned to the very day I first began dieting. This life, I would make her watch herself waste away, one mouthful at a time until she died of her own greed. I was dead. My soul drifted above the ceiling, watching my bloated body lying lifeless on the bed, my face pale and stiff. 5 days of fasting, and I hadn't lost a single ounce. I had only succeeded in starving myself to death. Hey darlings! Look what I made today, my special double cheese fried chicken burger. The familiar voice came from the next room. Lavinia was live streaming again. Surrounded by piles of high-calorie food, golden crispy fried chicken, chocolate-drizzled pancakes, fizzy cola. Her chopsticks picked up a slice of glistening pork belly. Her red lips parted delicately. And the moment she bit down, her expression melted into pure bliss. The comment feed flooded with messages. Lavinia looks so gorgeous when she eats. How many calories is that? So jealous she eats so much and never gains weight. Actually, my sister's the real wonder, Lavinia said in a hushed, conspiratorial tone, glancing toward my room. She gets fat even when she doesn't eat. My soul trembled with rage. I could still hear her last words before I died, her voice dripping with mock sympathy. Zara, stop torturing yourself. Some people are just born to be fat. Accept it. Then another comment appeared. Why's your sister so quiet today? Lavinia smirked faintly. Who knows? Maybe she's asleep. That fat cow does nothing but eat and sleep anyway. She leaned closer to the camera, lowering her voice. Between us, I just checked on her. She might actually be dead. Then, mudardo mosai. With a laugh, she feigned shock. Oh my god. I'm kidding. Don't take it seriously. Lightning struck through my soul. She knew I was dead, and she kept streaming? Kept eating? When the live stream ended, Lavinia turned off the camera, her panic vanishing instantly. She speared a piece of cake with her fork and popped it into her mouth, then casually dialed the phone. Mom, you'd better come home. That fat cow actually starved herself to death. Serves her right. Who told her to dream about looking like me? After hanging up, she looked into the empty air and said, System, did today's calories all transfer to that dead pig yet? A robotic voice responded. Rest assured. Host. All consumed calories have been transferred 100% to bound target Zara. Even in death, weight data will continue to update. Perfect. Lavinia's sweet smile turned venomous. Let her die a fat pig. 2. That should look lovely on her tombstone. A surge of fury and hatred unlike anything I'd ever known tore through me. So that was it. All my failed diets. All the inexplicable weight gain. It had all been her. Her and that damn system. Then, Munado Mosai. Once again, a blinding white light surrounded me. Zara, do you wish to bind a system? I do. I shouted. I want every pound Lavinia gains not to transfer to me but to vanish. Pound for pound. From her own body. As you wish. The light shattered. I gasped for air and opened my eyes. Familiar pink walls. A diet magazine spread open on my desk. I had been reborn. Zara, guess what I bought? Lavinia burst through the door, carrying a plate heaped high with fried chicken. Your favorite. Fresh from the fryer, super crispy. I stared at her face. Identical to mine. Yet now more revolting than ever. In my past life. This was the moment I caved. I took that first bite of fried chicken and doomed myself. I'm dieting. I said flatly. Not eating. Lavinia blinked. Then snorted. Please. Since when have you ever succeeded at dieting? She took a deliberate bite. Grease glistening on her lips. It's amazing. You sure you don't want any? My fist clenched beneath the blanket. No. Get out. She rolled her eyes. Suit yourself. Don't come crying to me when you starve. She sashayed out, wafting the scent of fried chicken behind her. As soon as the door shut, I jumped out of bed and stepped onto the scale. 80.0 kilograms, exactly 1 month after gaining 12 pounds. The beginning of my nightmare. Not this time. I opened my notebook and neatly wrote down the date and my weight. Then I made my plan. Cucumbers. Tomatoes. Chicken breast. Lots of water. Daily exercise. It had never worked before. But now, everything was different. At 5 in the morning. Before my alarm even rang. I opened my eyes. Day 2 of rebirth. Time to see if the voice had been real. Barefoot. I crept toward the scale. Heart pounding. The cold metal met my skin. The digits flickered, then stopped at 79.6 kilograms. 0.8 kilos gone overnight. My hands flew to my mouth as tears splashed onto the scale. It was real. The system was real. In my past life. No matter how I starved or exercised. The number never budged or even climbed higher the next day. What's with all the noise this early? Lavinia pushed open the door. Sleepy-eyed. Wearing a silk nightgown that exposed her delicate collarbones and slender legs. Seeing me on the scale. She scoffed. Weighing yourself again? Don't bother, it never changes. She brushed past me. Stepping onto the scale herself. 49.0 kilograms. 0.8 kilos lighter than yesterday. Wow. She gasped. Eyes shining with false innocence. I lost weight again. She spun around in delight. Looks like my metabolism is really fast. She didn't even notice that the number on the scale was exactly the same as the weight I had lost. I silently recorded the data. In my past life. At this point. She would always glance at the scale when I weighed myself. If my weight was up from the day before, she'd smugly say, "You've put on weight. It's all going to your body." Mom's voice came from the kitchen. "Lavinia. I made your favorite bacon and egg pancake." "Coming." Lavinia skipped away, glancing back with a teasing eyebrow raise. "If you're on a diet. No food for you." I opened the fridge and took out the ingredients I had prepared last night: cucumber, chicken breast, and 2 boiled eggs. Grandma passed through the kitchen and sneered when she saw my plate. All for show. I lowered my head and started eating. In my past life, I would have broken down and been eaten from such words. But now, every insult only fueled my resolve. In the morning, Lavinia was recording an eating live stream. She wore a tight t-shirt and hot pants. Setting up the camera in the dining room. The table was full of food: fried chicken, pizza, creamy cake, and milk tea. 3. Having a failed live session. 2, 1, go. She pressed the record button, instantly switching to her sweet smile. "Hello everyone. Today is our weekly Big Eater challenge." I put on my workout clothes. Ready to go for a run. Lavinia immediately swung the camera towards me. "Look. My sister's at it again. Wasting her time." She leaned close to the microphone. In a voice that pretended to whisper but was audible to everyone. Said. "She runs 5 kilometers every day. And she's getting fatter. It's hilarious." The comment section quickly filled with mockery. "Huh. Genetics are a cruel thing. Some people get fat just by drinking cold water. I envy how Lavinia ever gains weight no matter how much she eats." I tied my shoes. Calmly looking at the camera. "Sis. You've got cream on the corner of your mouth." Lavinia's expression changed. And she hurriedly wiped her mouth. I closed the door and left. Still hearing her awkwardly trying to cover it up. "My sister is just messing around." I jogged slowly around the neighborhood. My heart pounding from years of inactivity. In my past life. I would have given up after running less than 500 meters. Out of breath. But today, I completed the entire distance. When I got home, Lavinia's live stream was still going. She had already finished 3 people's worth of food and was rubbing her stomach in front of the camera. I'm so full. I'm definitely going to gain 3 pounds tomorrow. I knew she would actually lose 3 pounds tomorrow. While I just needed to stick to my plan and continue losing weight. Before taking a shower, I secretly registered a social media account called Transformation Diary, posting photos of my healthy meal and workout data. I didn't show my face. Just a brief caption, Day 1. Lost 0.8 kg. Goal, health. Just after posting, I received a like and comment from the user ID Mo-Wangwiki, keep it up. Scientific weight loss will surely succeed. It was the first bit of kindness I had received since my rebirth. Late at night, Lavinia barged into my room. She had just taken a shower. Her wet hair draped over her shoulder. And she was holding a scale. Strange. I ate so much today. But I still lost weight. She placed the scale on the floor and stepped on it. 48.5 kg. She had lost 0.5 kg. She tilted her head, thought for a moment. And then laughed. Must be that my digestive system is just too strong. Tomorrow, I'm going to double my intake. She skipped away, not even noticing the notebook on my desk where I had been recording the data. I flipped to a new page and drew the second downward curve. The taste of revenge was sweeter than I had imagined. On Monday morning, Lavinia whirled 3 times in front of the mirror. She had changed into a brand new school uniform skirt, tightening the waist by another inch. Zara, can you see my knees? She asked me. What? She proudly lifted the hem of her skirt. They say that for a standard body, the distance from the top of the thigh to the knee should be covered by an A for paper when standing. She held up a piece of paper vertically against the outside of her thigh. See. Completely covered. How about you? Want to give it a try? I silently packed my bag. Boring. Lavinia pouted, snapping a few selfies in the mirror. I'm going to hot pot with Jackson and the others after school. You can go home by yourself. Jackson, come. The captain of the school basketball team. One of Lavinia's loyal followers. In my past life, he had helped her slip weight loss drug ads into my desk. Do whatever. I slung my bag over my shoulder and stepped out the door first. Half the class was already in the classroom. As I walked in, several girls let out deliberate, suppressed giggles. My desk was marked with fat pig spot and permanent marker. Lavinia followed me in and was immediately surrounded by a group of girls. Lavinia, your live stream where you ate 10 portions of grilled meat over the weekend was amazing. How do you keep your figure? Just genetics. Lavinia flicked her hair and glanced at me. My sister can't do that. She gains weight just from drinking cold water. The gazes of everyone felt like needles stabbing into my back. I silently erased the writing on my desk and pulled out my textbook. The 4th period was PE. The teacher announced that we would be doing an 800-meter test. Amid the groans from the class, Lavinia raised her hand. Teacher, I'm on my period. She never sweated during PE class. I stood at the starting line, overhearing the whispers around me. Look at that fatty. She's definitely not going to finish. Bet she'll stop after half a lap. The whistle blew. I adjusted my breathing, maintaining a steady pace. The first 400 meters felt like my lungs were burning. By 600 meters, my legs felt like they were filled with lead. But I didn't stop. In the last 50 meters, I felt my vision darken. And I tripped, falling to the ground. My knees scraped open. And blood oozed out. Amid the laughter, the PE teacher, Silas, ran over. He was in his early 30s. One of the few male teachers at the school who didn't fawn over Lavinia. Can you get up? He crouched down and asked. I nodded. He helped me up and handed me a bottle of water. Go to the nurse's office to clean the wound. Then, Menaro sorry. Lowering his voice, he said. I saw your transformation diary. Keep going. I looked up, shocked. Was he Mo-Wangwiki? The nurse wasn't in the office. So Silas personally disinfected the wound. The cotton swab dipped in iodine stung as it touched the scrape, making me flinch. Your sister didn't come to class today? He asked. She leave too. She's on her period. Silas let out a soft hum. How convenient. This happens every month. He finished bandaging the wound and added. Next time. Make sure to warm up before running. On the way back to the classroom, I overheard Lavinia's voice coming from the girls' bathroom. Yeah. That fat pig really took a nasty fall. Then, when out a low sigh, there was a burst of laughter. I leaned against the wall, waiting for them to come out. When Lavinia saw me, her smile faltered for a second. Then she immediately linked arms with another girl. Shall you? I found this amazing dessert shop yesterday. In the afternoon. After school. I checked my transformation diary and noticed I had gained a dozen new followers. Someone had left a comment under my latest post. The blogger's progress feels so real. Unlike some eating influencers who are just pretending. I clicked on the commenter's profile. Miav. A girl from the next class. On the school's track team. So, she was my first real supporter. When I got home, Lavinia, as expected, went out to eat hot pot. I made a healthy meal, snapped a picture, and uploaded it. Day 3, scraped my knee but completed 800 meters. Lost 1 point for kg. As soon as I posted, Miav commented, saw you fall but still pushing through. Respect. I was in the middle of replying when Lavinia burst into the room, the scent of hot pot wafting off her. She snatched my phone. What are you sneaking around doing? When she saw the screen, her eyes wide and exaggerated. Oh my god, you're really documenting your diet? How pathetic. She immediately switched to her live stream account and aimed the camera at my phone screen. Hey, everyone. Look at this. My sister is doing a weight loss check-in. The comment feed exploded. Are you seriously posting your weight? 160 pounds? That's twice what I weigh. Lavinia. Teach your sister how to maintain her figure. I calmly took back my phone. At least I'm trying to change. Not deceiving people for compliments. Lavinia's face turned dark, and she quickly ended the live stream. Her teeth gritted. What do you mean by that? Just what I said. I saved my workout data for the day. See you tomorrow. Sister. She slammed the door behind her. I heard her in the living room, complaining to Mom. Mom. Zara's bullying me again. I put on my headphones and clicked on the training tips Maev had sent me. The headphones blocked out all noise, including the rapid beating of my heart. It wasn't fear. It was anticipation. Tomorrow, the numbers would keep dropping. As for Lavinia, no matter how much hot pot she ate, she would only keep getting thinner. A month later, my scale read 72 points kg 8 kilos down. I turned in front of the full-length mirror. My waistline was beginning to show, and my double chin had almost disappeared. The changes were subtle but real. I opened my notebook and marked a new point on the curve. Next to it, I recorded Lavinia's weight, 45 points kg. 5 kilos lighter than last month. Lavinia. How have you lost weight again? Mom asked at breakfast, a concerned look on her face. Are you studying too hard? Lavinia, spreading the third layer of peanut butter on her toast, smirked. No. I eat well and sleep soundly. She shot me a provocative glance. Better than some people who eat grass every day and still stay fat. Grandma slid a fried egg onto Lavinia's plate. Eat more. Look at you. You're so thin you've lost your chest. I silently sipped my vegetable juice. In the past month, I had gotten used to their mocking. Every time Lavinia made fun of me on her live stream, my transformation diary gained dozens of new followers. I now had 3,000 people following my weight loss journey. Today's the school talent show. Remember to come watch me. Lavinia said, wiping her mouth as she stood up. I'm wearing the red dress. I knew that dress. In my past life, she wore it to claim the title of campus goddess, while I was laughed at for not having the courage to get on stage. I'll be there, I said. Lavinia raised an exaggerated eyebrow. Wow. The sun must have risen in the west? The fat pig is actually showing up? I'll be there to see how you embarrass yourself, I said softly. Her smile froze on her face. The talent show was at 3 p.m. I arrived early at the auditorium and found Lavinia throwing a tantrum backstage. Why is this dress so loose? It fit perfectly last week. The costume teacher awkwardly explained. Lavinia. It's because you've lost weight. Your waist is 2 inches smaller. I found a corner and sat down. Maeve appeared next to me. Seemingly out of nowhere. You've lost so much weight. She handed me a bottle of sugar-free green tea. Keep it up. I'm rooting for you. On stage, Lavinia began her solo dance. The red dress was indeed loose. As she spun, the straps slipped off her shoulders, causing a ripple of giggles. In her panic, she stepped on the hem of her dress, almost falling. The performance ended in haste, with a scattering of claps. The next act was our class's choir performance. I stood in the back row and noticed that the students in the front row did adeptalate when they saw me. They hadn't recognized the thinner version of me. After the show, Jackson stopped me. You're Lavinia's sister? He looked me up and down. You've lost so much weight. Is there something you need? I asked. Well, could I get your contact information? He scratched his head. I'd like some tips on losing weight. I almost laughed out loud. In my past life, this was the moment he had helped Lavinia's tough fat measurement ads into my locker. Ask your goddess, I said, pointing to Lavinia, whose face was now ashen. Isn't she the one who never gains weight no matter how much she eats? On the way home, Lavinia didn't say a word. She stormed into the bathroom as soon as we got inside. 30 minutes later, I heard her scream. No way. I guessed she had seen the number on the scale. At dinner, Mom served braised pork. Lavinia, I made this specially for you to nourish your body. Lavinia mechanically shoved the meat into her mouth. Her eyes locked on the broccoli on my plate. I chewed slowly, savoring the fear in her gaze. Later that evening, I updated my account, day 30. 8 kg lost. Some people are starting to get scared. 2 months later, my weight dropped to 65 kg, 15 kilos lighter than at the start. The girl in the mirror was almost unrecognizable, defined collarbones, a clear waistline. My round face now shaped like an egg. My school uniform had gotten to sizes too big, and I had to alter it myself. Lavinia's situation was the exact opposite. She had shrunk to 41.5 kg, and her uniform skirt had been altered over and over. Her eating live streams were becoming more extreme. Yesterday, she ate 5 servings of barbecue. Yet this morning, she was thinner. My transformation diary had over 5,000 followers, while Lavinia's live stream comments were starting to turn sour. The host is too thin. It's not attractive. How can she eat so much and still lose weight? That's not normal. The girl from the transformation diary is way more real. During the break today, Jackson stopped me in the hallway. Zara, got any plans this weekend? I'd like to take you to a movie. There was an uproar from the surrounding students. I noticed Lavinia standing not far away, her face pale. No, I'm training, I said, waving my jump rope. Well, I'll train with you, Jackson insisted. You've changed so much. Well, Lavinia rushed over and hooked her arm around Jackson's. Jackson, weren't we supposed to shoot any video this weekend? Jackson pulled his arm away. We'll see. You're getting too thin lately. You don't look good on camera. Lavinia's expression was as though she had been slapped. She turned toward me, her eyes flashing with an emotion I couldn't quite decipher. Are you satisfied now? What? I blinked innocently. What kind of sorcery did you use? She lowered her voice. Why is it that the more I eat, the thinner I get? Why are you She couldn't finish the sentence. I leaned close to her ear. Maybe it's because you've done too many bad things. And now karma is catching up with you? She shoved me away and ran to the bathroom. Maeve walked over. She deserves it. In the afternoon, during PE class, Silas announced the results of the fitness test. The most improved is Sarah. Her lung capacity increased from 2,000 ml to 3,200 ml, and her body fat percentage dropped by 8. The classmates stared at me in shock. Lavinia raised her hand. Teacher. She must be on drugs. No one can lose weight this fast without something being wrong. Silas frowned. Lavinia. Don't make accusations without evidence. Zara's training plan and diet records were very scientific. He handed me a form. The school is holding a healthy living week, and they need student representatives. I've recommended you. Lavinia's nails dug into her palm. After school, I discovered that my locker had been pried open, and my gym clothes were cut into pieces. Someone had written "Go die, fat pig" in lipstick on them. I took a photo and posted it directly to my social account. Some people are starting to panic. 10 minutes later, Mav commented, "The locker room has surveillance. Do you want to report it?" I replied, "No rush." When I got home, Lavinia was live streaming. "Hey everyone. Today I'm going to teach you how to spot weight loss scams." She held up a photo from 3 months ago. One of me when I was overweight. "This is my sister. She claimed she lost 30 pounds by working out. But the truth is, she took banned drugs." I calmly walked into the frame and set my backpack down. "Sis. Are you still spreading rumors?" The comment section exploded. "Is this the same person? The change is huge." Lavinia said her sister was still a fat cow. Right? Lavinia frantically turned off the live stream, screaming hysterically, "Get out." That night, my account had over 6,000 followers. I posted a jump rope video with the caption, "Day 60. Body fat percentage dropped to 22. Rumors stop with the wise." Before bed, I heard Lavinia vomiting in her room. Her live stream had been blacked out for a week. I scrolled through her social media account, where her latest post was a photo of a hospital scale showing 39.2 kg, with the caption, "Health checkup. Everything's normal." The comment section was filled with concern. "Lavinia's too thin. It's heartbreaking. Is she anorexic? That weight loss sister is suspicious." Though my transformationed Irie account reached 10,000 followers, and my latest body date a post had the top comment from Mav, 3 months. Body fat from 32 to 20. Muscle mass increased by 4 kg. This is true scientific weight loss. My phone vibrated, and I saw a friend request from Jackson. I declined it. 3 seconds later, he sent another request. "I have dirt on Lavinia. You'll want it." I hesitated for a moment before accepting. He immediately sent me an audio file, and I plugged in my headphones. "That damn fatty. What makes her think she can lose weight?" Lavinia's voice was sharp and grating. "You guys have to keep bullying her. Especially you, Jackson. Didn't you say you only like me? But you're too thin." Jackson replied in a low voice. "Useless. Tomorrow, go tell her you like her. And get her to spill her weight loss secrets. Otherwise, I'll make you famous at school." The recording ended. Jackson sent a text, "She forced me to get close to you. There's more. I'll show you in person." I replied, "No need. Keep it for self-defense." I set the phone down and walked over to the full-length mirror. The girl in the reflection had a slender waist and long legs. The stark contrast to who I had been 3 months ago. I lifted my shirt, revealing the faint outline of muscle on my abdomen. From the living room, I heard shouting. I quietly opened the door and listened, hearing my mom crying. "The doctor said you have an electrolyte imbalance. If you keep this up, your organs will fail. It's all Zara's fault." Lavinia screamed. "She must have used some kind of witchcraft. That's nonsense." Mom's voice was stern. "I've seen her diet and exercise records for the past 3 months. They're much more genuine than your fake food challenges." I held my breath. This was the first time Mom had stood up to Lavinia. "Mom, have you been brainwashed by her?" Lavinia screamed. "I'm your most beloved daughter. Exactly because of that. I can't stand by and watch you destroy yourself." Mom's voice cracked. "You need to go to the hospital for treatment tomorrow." "I won't go." Lavinia's footsteps grew closer, and I quickly retreated into my room. She barged in, grabbed my wrist. "Are you happy now? Mom doesn't want me anymore." She was shockingly thin, her eyes sunken, and her wrist so frail it looked like it could snap. I wrenched my arm from her grip. "You're the one who ate yourself into this state." "No." Her eyes were bloodshot. "I've checked. All the tests came back normal. But I'm still getting thinner. You've stolen my weight." My heart raced. She was close to the truth. "System," I whispered. Lavinia froze. As if struck by lightning. How do you know? Know what? I tilted my head, pretending to be clueless. She took 2 steps back and smiled. It doesn't matter. You'll regret it soon. With that, she slammed the door and left. That night, my fitness tracker and scale went missing. At 3 a.m., I was woken by a loud, jarring noise. Lavinia was blasting heavy metal music at full volume through speakers in the next room. Neither Mom nor Grandma stepped in to stop it. I stuffed earplugs in and recorded the time, day 97, 315 a.m. Sleep deliberately disrupted. The next morning, the healthy meal I had prepared was gone from the kitchen, replaced by a box of cream cake with the words "Eat up, fat pig" written on it. I took a photo and posted it on my social account, "Someone's getting scared." Then I left for school on an empty stomach. At break, having fulfilled my obsession, Miev handed me a lunchbox. Chicken breast salad. I made an extra serving. Thanks. My nose tingled. In my past life, I would have collapsed into a binge-eating frenzy from starving so long. When I came home after school, I found the door had been forced open, and all my clothes in the wardrobe were shredded. On my vanity, someone had written "Go die with lipstick." I opened my phone and started a live stream, calmly filming the wreckage of my room. Hello, everyone. No weight loss tips today. I'm just going to show you my sister's masterpiece. The comments exploded instantly. Oh my god. Is this domestic abuse? They used to act like the best sisters. Streamer. Call the police. 10 minutes later, the live stream was cut off. Lavinia had reported me, but the video had already been saved by over 1,000 people. At dinner, Grandma pointed at me with her chopsticks. Family matters should not be aired in public. How dare you live stream? My room being destroyed isn't family trouble. It's a crime. I set down my chopsticks. I've kept all the evidence. Mom's face went pale. Lavinia. Did you do this? Lavinia broke down into tears. She's taken everything from me. Mom. Classmates. Fans. Now even Jackson. Jackson? Mom looked confused at me. I've rejected him 3 times. I sneered. Sis forced him to get close to me, just to get her so-called weight loss secrets. Lavinia suddenly looked up. You've been eavesdropping on me? Do I need to? I pulled out my phone and played the recording Jackson sent me. When the recording finished, there was complete silence in the dining room. Mom's hand was trembling, and Grandma slammed her fist on the table. That's fake. Lavinia would never say that. Grandma, I asked gently, can't you recognize your own granddaughter's voice? Mom stood up and left the table. Lavinia glared at me with venom. You won. For now. That night, I slept behind a locked door, a fruit knife hidden under my pillow. It wasn't because I feared she would hurt me, but because I feared she might hurt herself and frame me for it. 100 days. Morning weight, 63.5 kg. I took a comparison photo in front of the full-length mirror on the left. I was 160 pounds 3 months ago. On the right, I was 127 pounds now. Same school uniform. Completely different shape. I uploaded the photo to my transformation diary and immediately received Mia's comment, "Oh my god. What a change. Can I interview you? The school newspaper wants to do a health feature." I agreed in reply and privately messaged her, "Be careful of my sister." My phone buzzed with a text from an unknown number. It was a picture of Lavinia's hospital wristband with the message, "You did this." I saved the image but didn't respond. At the breakfast table, only Grandma was there. "Your sister's in the hospital. Your mom's with her," she said coldly. "Happy now? What happened to her?" "Malnutrition 38.5 kg. Grandma slammed her chopsticks down. "The doctor says if she loses any more weight, she'll die." I chewed my whole wheat bread slowly. "Then she should eat more." Slap. A sharp blow to my face. Grandma's hand trembled. "Ungrateful. You've been jealous of Lavinia since you were a child." I licked the blood from the corner of my mouth. "Grandma. Do you remember my 10th birthday?" She froze. "Lavinia said she would help me with the cake but accidentally fell." I stared directly into her cloudy eyes. "You said it was a good thing she wasn't the one who fell." Grandma took a step back. Why are you remembering that? Nothing. I wiped my mouth and stood up. I'm going to school. In the hallway, the way my classmates looked at me had changed. Jackson kept his distance. And a few girls whispered and pointed. And Tilma ran up to grab my arm. Your sister's in the infirmary. At the infirmary. Lavinia was lying in a bed, receiving an IV, while Mom wiped tears from her eyes. The school nurse looked at me with a frown. What are you doing here? I told her to come. Lavinia's weak voice sounded. I wanted to talk to my sister alone. Once everyone had left, she immediately switched gears. How did you do it? She yanked at her hospital gown, exposing her collarbones, which looked like they could pierce through her skin. I've tried everything: binge eating, purging, taking pills, even blood transfusions to gain weight. I stood a safe distance away. Admit it. You've linked up with some system, haven't you? Her pupils dilated. You really know. Know what? I played dumb. That voice. She mumbled. The one that promised I could stay slim forever. My heart rate sped up. She had finally said it. It asked me if I wanted to link up with the fat transfer system. Lavinia's gaze grew distant. It said if I agreed, all the calories I consumed would transfer to your twin sister. I calmly finished her sentence. She snapped her head up, her eyes full of terror. How did you? Just then, the door opened, and Mom entered. Lavinia, the ambulance is here to take you for a full checkup. Lavinia grabbed Mom's hand. Mom. Zara cursed me. Mom tiredly shook her head. Enough. Stop talking. It's true. She stole my weight. Enough. Mom raised her voice. The doctor says you're severely malnourished and found esophageal damage from purging. You've been torturing yourself. As Lavinia was being lifted into the ambulance, she was still screaming. She's going to kill me. Mom. Save me. After school, I went to the hospital to visit. Lavinia was asleep, and Mom was sitting on a bench in the hallway, crying uncontrollably. The doctor said she's only 37 kg. Mom grabbed my hand. What's happening to her? I paused for a moment before replying. Maybe it's karma? Mom trembled. You Eve too. What do you know? I know everything my sister has done to me since we were kids. I said softly. I know how she enjoyed watching me be mocked. How she made you all hate me. Mom's hand slowly loosened. I didn't mean to. You're both my daughters. But now she needs you. I took a step back. And I've already learned not to need anyone. Back at home, I updated my social media account, day 100. 16.5 kg lost. Some people are starting to face the consequences of what they've sown. The picture was of a sprout pushing through the earth, with a tipped-over glass in the background. Late at night, the phone rang, waking me up. It was from the hospital. Lavinia had gone missing. At 3:17 a.m., the hospital's call woke the entire house. Lavinia's family? The patient has escaped from the hospital. Mom's hurried footsteps were heard through the walls as she rushed to get dressed. I lay still in bed, listening to the chaos outside. 15 minutes later, the front door slammed shut, and the entire house fell into an eerie silence. I counted to 300, then got up and opened the curtains. A strange black sedan was parked downstairs, and a red light flickered faintly through the tinted windows. Someone was watching my house. My phone lit up. Miev had sent me a message. Your sister just updated her status. I opened Lavinia's long-neglected eating live stream account, and the latest post was a 10-second video. She was wearing a hospital gown, standing on a rooftop with the city skyline behind her. The caption read, "My sister hurt me, and I won't let her go even if I become a ghost." The post was made at 3:21 a.m. I immediately called Mom. Mom, look at Lavinia's account. She's on the rooftop. There was a screeching sound on the other end. Which rooftop? I don't know. But you can see the Pearl Tower in the background. It's probably in the eastern part of the city. The call cut off. I grabbed my coat and was about to head out when I ran into Grandma at the hallway. She was wearing a strange black robe, holding a bamboo basket filled with yellow paper, incense, and a small knife. Grandma? her cloudy eyes fixed on me. "It's all your fault," she hissed. "I'm going to drive away the evil spirits tonight." I took 2 steps back. Lavinia's on the rooftop about to jump. "Mom already." "Shut up." Grandma grabbed a handful of rice from the basket and threw it at me. "Evil spirits. Be gone." The rice hit my face, stinging. I turned and rushed back to my room. Locked the door. And climbed out the window onto the fire escape. When I landed, the black sedan was still there. But the people inside were gone. I hailed a taxi in front of the convenience store. "Driver. The tallest building where you can see the Pearl Tower from the east side. Hurry." After 10 minutes. The driver pointed ahead. "Is that a fire?" A cloud of thick smoke was rising from the top of an old apartment building in the distance. My heart stopped. There it was. Jinxie apartment. Where we had lived when we were in elementary school. "Go there. Hurry." I jumped out of the car before it even came to a full stop. Downstairs. There were ambulances and police cars. And a crowd was looking up. I pushed my way to the front and saw a figure in the firelight at the top of the building. "Sister." I instinctively shouted. She seemed to hear me. Her figure swaying slightly. Firefighters were laying down air mats. And police were stopping Mom from rushing into the building. I quietly snuck into the building's stairwell and started climbing. 9 floors up. My lungs felt like they were on fire. At the rooftop, the iron door was wide open. And a wave of heat hit me. Lavinia had set old furniture on fire. The flames weren't large. But the smoke was thick. She stood at the edge of the rooftop, her back to me. "Sister." She suddenly turned around. Her face illuminated by the flames. "Looking like a skeleton, what are you here for? To watch me die?" "Mom's downstairs. About to lose it," I said slowly, edging closer. "Come down. Do you know what I discovered?" She shook the old photo album in her hands. "This is a picture of us when we were 5. Back then. You were just a little bit fatter than me." The flames licked the nearby old sofa. And the heat was unbearable. I squinted at her. So the problem's always been you," she screamed. "Since we were little. You've been stealing everything that was supposed to be mine with that pitiful face of yours. Now, even my weight. Are you trying to steal that too?" I was only 3 steps away from her. "No one can steal someone else's weight." "You can." She flung the photo album in the air hysterically. "What kind of witchcraft did you use? Did that old woman teach you?" I froze for a second. Then realized she meant Grandma. "Grandma? Not her." Lavinia's eyes went wild. "It's the voice that gave me the system. It lied to me." My heart started to race. "What system?" She suddenly froze. Like she realized she had slipped up. "Are you trying to trick me?" She took a half step back. Her heels hovering off the ground. "Be careful." I lunged forward, grabbing her wrist. She was so light that I could almost lift her with one hand. Firefighters rushed onto the roof, blasting us with water to put out the fire. Amid the chaos, Lavinia locked eyes with me and whispered, "I hate you." She yanked her hand away from mine. But thankfully, the firefighters caught her. The next day, Lavinia was forcibly admitted to the psychiatric ward. The shaman Grandma had called in sprinkled chicken blood in my room and pasted talismans, claiming it would expel the family-killing evil spirit from me. "Master, is it true that this girl caused her sister's illness?" Grandma asked. The shaman squinted at me, her triangular eyes narrowing. "Sisters' fates are in conflict. One must stay away." I interrupted her. "How much would it take for you to tell the truth?" The shaman's face changed. I took out my phone. "I just checked exorcisms without a license are considered fraud. Should I call the police?" She muttered angrily and stormed out. Grandma tried to stop her. But I blocked her path. "Grandma, have you ever considered that maybe Lavinia's suffering is karma for her wrongdoings?" Grandma's slap came out of nowhere. "Wicked woman. Cursing your own sister." I wiped the blood from the corner of my mouth and smiled. "Do you remember when I fell into the pond when I was 6? Lavinia said I slipped on my own. That's what happened. But I felt someone push me." I spoke softly. Now that I think about it, Lavinia's hands were small, but very strong. For the first time, Grandma's expression wavered. That afternoon, A local journalist contacted me, asking to interview me about the healthy weight loss girl story. I agreed, with the condition that my family situation would not be mentioned. When Mom returned from the hospital, she went straight to Lavinia's room. I heard her flipping through something, probably the old photo album we had saved from the rooftop. At dinner, Mom asked me, "Zara, when you were 6, why did you suddenly become afraid of water?" I put down my chopsticks. "Because someone pushed me into the pond. Then said I slipped on my own." Mom's hand started trembling. "Why? Why didn't you say anything?" "I did." I stared her straight in the eye. "You said Lavinia was so well behaved. There's no way she would lie." Tears fell from Mom's eyes and splashed onto the tablecloth. This was the first time she had cried for me. But it was 10 years too late. 2 weeks after Lavinia was hospitalized, the school suggested she take time off to recover. The doctor said she's under 35 kg now. Mom rubbed her temples tiredly. "Her organs are starting to fail. But they can't figure out why." I silently ate my healthy meal. My weight had dropped to 60 kg, with a body fat percentage of 18. Almost at athlete level. Mia said the school's track and field team wanted to recruit me. "Zara." Mom hesitated. "Could you go visit her?" The doctor said, "She's been calling your name." I put down my fork. "Okay." The city's mental health center felt like a prison. After passing through 3 iron gates, I saw Lavinia in the activity room. She was curled up in a wheelchair, looking like a skeleton and covered with human skin, with soft pads on her wrists to prevent self-harm. "Sis." She slowly lifted her head, her eyes wide on her gaunt face, her gaze terrifying. "You came, without a woe-sigh, to laugh at me." I sat down across from her. "Mom asked me to come." "Liar." She screamed. "You stole my system. Give it back to me." A nurse pinned her arms down. I leaned forward, speaking in a voice only she could hear. "That system that could transfer weight." Her eyes widened, and her cracked lips trembled. You really, I don't know anything." I leaned back in my chair. "I just know that doing bad things brings bad consequences." She started laughing hysterically, until the doctor arrived with a sedative. As I was leaving, Mom stopped me in the hallway. "What did she say about this system?" "Just delusional ramblings." I shrugged. "She said I stole some system from her." Mom's gaze became complicated. "Zara, if you know anything that could help her, I'm not a doctor." I turned to leave. The next day, having fulfilled my obsession, Mr. Silas asked to speak with me. "Zara, someone reported that you and I have an inappropriate relationship." I looked up in shock. "What?" "The school investigated. It's just a rumor." He handed me a document. "But I've been reassigned to a different school." At the bottom of the document, the signature of the person who made the report was in Lavinia's distorted handwriting. Why would she? Her dad took care of it. "Mr. Silas gave a wry smile. "I didn't expect to meet a parent like this." I suddenly remembered her father. The one who was always away on business. When had he come back? "Sorry, teacher. It's not your fault." He was packing up his desk. "Keep it up. You're doing great." As I walked out of the office, I saw Jackson lurking around the corner of the hallway. I walked straight up to him. "Did you do this?" He quickly shook his head. "No. It was Lavinia. Before she went to the hospital. She gave me the materials to pass on when her dad came back." "Why help her?" She has something on me." His face was pale. "Back in middle school, I stole class funds. And she saw me." I turned and walked away. Jackson ran after me. "Wait. I've got something for you." He handed me a USB drive. All her original live stream footage. Some of it didn't tear. At home, I plugged the USB into my computer. Most of the files were of Lavinia touching up her makeup and yelling at staff. Until the last folder. System test records. I clicked on the video. In it, Lavinia was speaking to the air system. Confirmed that today's calories had been transferred to Zara. After a pause, she jumped up in ecstasy. "It really works. Tomorrow, I'll live stream eating double." The video date was the week before I started my weight loss journey. I shut the computer down. my hands shaking. This was undeniable proof that she had knowingly used the system to hurt me. That night, Mom and Dad both came home together for the first time in ages. When Dad saw me, his first words were, "What did you do to your sister?" "I didn't do anything." "Then why did she end up like this?" He threw a stack of photos at me. Lavinia on her hospital bed, looking like a concentration camp victim. "The doctor says that she keeps going like this, she won't survive more than a month." Mom grabbed his arm. "Don't say that. Lavinia has always been a bit obsessive. Even you're taking her side?" Dad pointed a finger at me. "Lavinia has always been so much better than you, how many times more talented than you. And now you're using such despicable means to harm her?" I calmly pulled out my phone and played the video Jackson had provided. Lavinia's voice echoed through the living room. "System. Confirm that today's calorie intake is fully transferred to Zara." When the video finished, Dad's face turned pale with fury. What is this?" "I don't know." I put my phone away. "But it proves she's done something to me, doesn't it?" Dad stormed out the door. Mom collapsed onto the sofa, her hands covering her face as she cried. Late at night, I heard a heated argument coming from the master bedroom. "We must take Lavinia to a better hospital. She needs a psychologist." "That video proves." "What can the video prove?" "It's just nonsense from a child." "What about Zara's weight?" "She lost 40 pounds in 3 months. Because she's disciplined. Unlike you, who's always pampered Lavinia." The argument ended with the sound of a door slamming. The next morning, Dad was gone, leaving a note. "I'm taking Lavinia to Beijing for treatment. Mom," her eyes red, "was making breakfast. Your father's always been like this. When there's a problem, he runs away." I silently ate the egg she had cooked, her first time making breakfast for me in 10 years. "Zara." Her voice choked. "I'm sorry." Sunlight filtered through the curtains and shone on the dining table. I squinted. "Mom, the eggs are overcooked." She paused for a moment, then broke into a smile through her tears. "I'll cook them 30 seconds less tomorrow." That day, I updated my social media account. Day 120. Body fat percentage 17.8. Some people are finally starting to see the truth. The picture was of a broken mirror, with each shard reflecting a different light and shadow. At 3 a.m., I received a call from Beijing. After Mom hung up, the entire house descended into chaos. I stood at the door, watching her frantically pack her luggage. "Mom, what's going on?" Lavinia escaped from the hospital." Mom's voice was fragmented. "She stole a nurse's phone. Sent your dad a suicide note." I zipped up her suitcase. "I'll go with you." The capital airport was crowded. Mom held her phone tightly, calling Dad every 5 minutes. But he never answered. On the taxi ride to the hospital, she grabbed my hand. "Azara. If Lavinia really..." I squeezed her cold fingers. "She'll be fine." The long white hallways of Peking Union Medical College Hospital seemed endless. Dad was slumped on a bench, his suit crumpled like a rag, his tie askew. When he saw us, he shot up from his seat. "It's all your fault." He pointed at me. "If you hadn't provoked her." "Enough." Mom screamed. "Where is Lavinia?" "She's missing. The cameras caught her climbing over the wall at 1 a.m. Dad tugged at his hair in distress. "The police found her hospital gown by the moat." Mom collapsed, and I quickly caught her. "Police came over to take a statement, asking about Lavinia's recent behavior. When asked if there were signs of suicidal tendencies, Dad pointed at my phone. Her last message was sent to you." All eyes turned to me. I unlocked my phone and opened the photo sent at 1:23 a.m. Lavinia's emaciated arm, covered in needle marks, was visible, with the caption, "You won." "That's all?" the police officer pressed. I scrolled down. There's also a voice message. I hit play. And Lavinia's weak, distorted voice filled the room. "I know what you did, Day. That system. It betrayed me. I won't too. Even as a ghost." The message cut off abruptly. The officer frowned. "System? What system?" "It's just her delirious ramblings." I tucked my phone away. "She kept saying I stole her system." Dad lunged at me. grabbing my phone from my hands. Liar. You must know more. He frantically flipped through my contacts. What about Silas? Did he help you? Stop. Mom tried to intervene. But Dad shoved her away. The police stepped in and returned my phone. Dad was taken away for questioning. And Mom and I stayed behind to wait for news. By noon, a nurse came running. We found her. In an internet CAF near Yonghe Temple. When we arrived, Lavinia was being lifted into an ambulance. She looked even thinner than in the video. Like a skeleton and raped in human skin. Bandages soaked in blood were wrapped around her wrists. When she saw me, she struggled. Go away. Go away. Her voice was as raspy as sandpaper. The medical staff held her down and injected her with a sedative. Dad followed the ambulance, leaving me and Mom to deal with the aftermath. The internet CAF owner looked shaken. She rented a computer all night, crying in front of it. This morning, the staff found she'd slit her wrists. The police retrieved her internet history. I stood by, watching as the search bar was filled with how to unlink from the system. Calorie transfer, scientific explanation. Twin curse. The last search was a question posted on a mysticism forum. The system betrayed me. Reversed the calorie transfer. How do I get revenge? On the taxi ride back to the hospital, Mom spoke quietly. I want to see that USB drive. I froze. What USB drive? The one Jackson gave you. Her eyes were tired but sharp. Stop pretending. I saw it. Back at the hotel. I plugged the USB drive into my laptop. As the video played, Mom's expression shifted from confusion to shock. And finally, to a pale realization. This is Lavinia's secret? I don't know what it is. I answered cautiously. I only know she did something to me. Mom broke down in tears. I've been blind all these years. She cried until she was dry heaving. And I handed her tissues and water. When she calmed down, I said, Mom, I want to go back first. She grabbed my hand. Stay with me for one more day. Tomorrow we'll go back together. That evening, Dad called to say Lavinia's condition had stabilized, but she needed long-term hospitalization. When Mom told him we were returning first, there was a long silence on the other end of the line. Go ahead. He finally said. I'll stay with Lavinia for a while longer. After hanging up, Mom forced a smile. He finally has to face the fact that he has an imperfect daughter. 3 days after we got home, Lavinia's fans began a cyber manhunt. My social media accounts were exposed. Flooded with insults. Murderer. What did you do to your sister? If Lavinia dies, it's your fault. I calmly organized all the evidence, from the shredded photos of the sports uniform, to the videos of the destroyed room, to the audio clip where Lavinia explicitly confessed to the calorie transfer system. Finally, petting fulfill way up shy. I included the weight change curve over the past 4 months and the hospital examination reports. The title was simple. The truth. 1 hour after posting, public opinion began to turn. Miav messaged me, check the trending search. Lavinia's image collapse was already trending at 8. The link led to an analysis article from a prominent figure, meticulously comparing the traces of her faked eating live streams with evidence of her long-term bullying of me. That evening, Mom knocked on my door, holding a black leather notebook. I found this in Lavinia's room. Opening the first page. It was labeled System Usage Log, with densely packed records of dates, caloric intake, and transfer amounts. The most recent pages were filled with manic scribbles. Why did it reverse? Why did she lose weight? But I lost weight even faster? Damn. The last page read, if Sarah dies, will the system return? Mom's hands trembled so much she could barely hold the notebook. She wanted to kill you? I closed the notebook. Do you believe me now? The day Lavinia was transferred back to the local hospital was exactly 5 months since I started my weight loss journey. My weight had dropped to 55 kg. My body fat was at 16. And my ABS were clearly visible. The transformation record fan base surpassed 50. 0, and a sports brand had contacted me about endorsements. Mom had grown quiet. spending her days sorting through something. Until one day, she brought out an old shoebox. Zara, I want to show you something. Inside were all my belongings. The first place drawing prize from kindergarten. A third-grade essay titled My Dream. The biology competition certificate from middle school. All the honors I thought I had lost were right here. Did Lavinia hide these? Mom nodded. Tears splashing onto the yellowed certificates. I should have noticed earlier. She's been like this since she was a child. The doorbell rang just then. The delivery man handed over a package sent from Beijing. Addressed to Mom. Upon opening it, we both gasped a copy of Lavinia's medical records and a letter from Dad. The diagnosis in the records was startling: late-stage anorexia nervosa, accompanied by persecutory delusions. Poor prognosis. The letter was even shorter: I can't take it anymore. She keeps screaming she wants to kill Zara. I've contacted a specialized hospital in Switzerland. We're leaving next week. Divorce papers are included. Mom collapsed onto the couch. Her eyes hollow. I didn't know what to say. So I went to start dinner. As I was chopping vegetables, my phone vibrated. It was a message from the hospital caregiver. Your sister's causing trouble again. She insists on seeing you. After a moment's hesitation, I decided to go. Lavinia's private hospital room was like a cell. Everything sharp had been removed, and the windows were welded shut. She sat on the bed, her wrists strapped to restraints. But when she saw me, her eyes lit up with intensity. You came. I knew you'd come. Her voice was hoarse. Are you happy seeing me like this? I stood a safe distance away. Dad's sending you to Switzerland. Running away won't work. She shook her head nervously. The system is bound to you. It won't matter if I escape to the moon. What system? I continued to feign ignorance. Stop pretending. You know. The system that transfers weight. It betrayed me. Now it's reversing the process. The more I eat, the faster I lose weight. Nurses rushed in to restrain her. Just before the sedative was injected, she glared at me. Even if I become a doused, I won't spare you. When I left the hospital, the setting sun stung my eyes. My phone rang. It was Miev. Check the class group chat. The group chat was in chaos. Jix Sun had posted a voice recording titled Lavinia's True Colors. I clicked on it. And Lavinia's voice was crystal clear. Yeah. Put the laxative in Zara's water cup. Don't worry. She's so fat. A few days of diarrhea won't hurt her. The date was from last year's sports event. Soon, wet out a lo Serene. Other students began posting photos. The fat pig graffiti on my desk. The weight loss bill ads in my locker. The sports where I'd gotten dirty during PE. With the caption, turns out, it was all your sister's doing. At home, Mom was watching a video. And I recognized it as one Dad had sent. In the video, Lavinia was throwing a tantrum in her hospital room. Screaming, give me back the system. Then she calmed down. Speaking to the air, I know how to wow sigh. As long as Zara dies. The video abruptly cut off. Mom closed the laptop. Her voice eerily calm. I'm going to see a lawyer tomorrow. The next morning, the doorbell woke us up. Two police officers were standing outside. Are you Zara? Someone's reported you for intentionally harming Lavinia. Mom stepped in front of me. Who reported it? Her father. Here's the search warrant. The police took my computer, phone, and the system log notebook. Before leaving, the older officer whispered, Miss, I suggest you get a lawyer. Before the lawyer arrived, Mom received a call. Her face turned ashen. Lavinia escaped from the hospital. We rushed to the hospital. And the scene was chaotic. Dad was arguing with the hospital director, while several nurses surrounded a crying caregiver. She said she needed to use the bathroom. So I undid the restraints. The caregiver sobbed. She suddenly pushed me and ran off. Surveillance footage showed Lavinia sneaking through the medical passage and leaving through the back door. The police began a search of the surrounding area. And Mom and I returned home to wait for news. At 6 p.m. My phone received a message from an unknown number, the rooftop. Just the two of us. I immediately knew where she was. Jinxayu Apartments. The same rooftop from last time. I didn't tell Mom and took a taxi alone. There were no police cars downstairs. So it seemed she hadn't been found yet. I climbed 9 flights of stairs and pushed open the rooftop gate. Lavinia stood at the edge. Her back to me. The evening breeze lifted her hospital gown, making it look empty. Like something hanging on a clothes hanger. Sis. She slowly turned around. In the setting sun. She looked gaunt. Her eyes enormous. Holding something in her hand. You came Mosai. She smiled, revealing yellowed teeth. Came to witness your victory? I took a cautious step forward. Dad's looking for you. That coward? She sneered. He's afraid of me. Afraid I'll really kill you. She raised what she was holding. It was my sports water bottle. Do you remember this? Of course I remember. That acute gastroenteritis in the 2nd year of middle school. When I was hospitalized for a week. I put laxatives in your food. She reminisced with a twisted sense of satisfaction. You looked so weak and exhausted from all the diarrhea. It was so funny. Why do you hate me? This was the question I had wanted to ask for years. Because you exist. Why should we be twins? And yet you always manage to be just a little bit better than me. In art. In essays. In biology. Even your weight. Until that system appeared. She took a step closer. Edging toward the precipice. But it betrayed me. Now. There's only one way to sever the bond. I realized what she was about to do and rushed forward. Don't. It was too late. Lavinia toppled backward. A twisted smile lingering on her lips. I desperately grabbed her wrist. Feeling her delicate bones. Terrified I might crush them with my grip. Let go, oh. She whispered. When I die. The system will be freed. And you'll go back to being that fat slob. I looked into her manic eyes and released my grip. Of course. The fire cushion had already been laid out. But in that moment, I knew that. Just like her. I had become twisted. Lavinia fell. I leaned against the railing. Watching her plummet like a bird with broken wings. Her hospital gown fluttered in the wind. And her once beautiful face was twisted into a frozen mask of fear. 9 stories. Enough for me to remember a lot. Her triumphant laugh as she poured laxatives into my water cup. The biting mockery of my weight in her live stream. The malicious delight in her eyes as she had classmates write fat pig on my desk. Bang. A dull thud. Screams rose from below. I slowly descended the stairs. My fingers trembling uncontrollably. Though not out of fear. The fire cushion hadn't been properly inflated. The area around the Jinju apartments was packed with people. I pushed my way through the crowd. Seeing Lavinia crumpled on the ground like a rag doll. Her left leg twisted at an impossible angle. Blood slowly spreading from the back of her head. A nurse was kneeling beside her. Performing CPR. Make way. The ambulance is here. I was pushed to the side. Watching as the medical staff lifted Lavinia onto a stretcher. Her arm hung limply, having fulfilled my fashion. And I noticed how thin she had become. Her veins bulging like spider webs beneath her skin. Does she have a pulse? Faint. Hurry. The ambulance screeched away. I stood by the roadside and laughed. Passers-by looked at me like I was crazy. But I didn't care. My phone rang. It was Mom. Zara. Where are you? The hospital, says Lavinia. Jinju apartments. I said calmly. She jumped. On the other end. I heard my grandmother's piercing curses mixed with Mom's sobs. I hung up and called a taxi. Where to? The driver asked. City First Hospital. I paused. No. First to school. Class 4 of senior year was studying on their own. When I entered through the back door, everyone looked up at me. I had grown used to being stared at over the past few months. But this time was different. Their eyes were filled with fear. Jack's son's seat was empty. Miev discreetly passed me a note. Did Lavinia really jump? It's all over the group. I nodded and walked straight to the podium. The classroom instantly went silent. I know what you're all thinking. I surveyed the familiar faces in the room. Yes, Cuddy. My sister jumped. And she's now in the hospital fighting for her life. I smiled. Maybe she'll survive. Maybe she won't. Some students gasped. The girl who had once followed Lavinia in bullying me lowered her head. Pale. These past 5 months. I continued. I've lost 45 pounds. And some of you who shoved diet pills into my desk, wrote on my gym clothes, and splashed water on me during PE. The class leader stood up. Sarah? Now's not the time for this. Your sister. Shut up. I glared at him. Last semester. You were the one leading the chant fat pig. I pulled out my phone. Do you want me to play the audio Jackson provided? It has the evidence of you accepting money from Lavinia to torment me. The class leader's face turned as white as a sheet. I'm here to tell you all. I walked down from the podium. Before the college entrance exams, I'll be transferring schools. But before I leave, I stopped in front of the desk of the girl who had poured red ink on my chair. I wish you all a bright future. I placed a USB drive on the podium. This contains all the evidence. If I hear any more rumors about me in the future. I gave the classroom cameras a meaningful look. As I walked out of the school gate, Jackson ran up, panting. Sarah. I hurt. I turned around and slapped him. The crisp sound echoed as he froze, clutching his face. This slap is for when you secretly filmed me in the locker room in sophomore year. I looked at his swollen face with a cold smile. Don't worry. I've already reported all the photos you secretly took on your computer to the cyber police, including the ones of other girls. His expression shifted from shock to fear. You? How did you? Lavinia told me. I lied cheerfully. She said you're a disgusting pervert who collects photos of fat girls and sells them to fetish websites. She's lying. Jackson screamed. She was the one who made me do it. Do you have evidence? I raised an eyebrow. Now she's on the verge of death. And the stuff on your computer. I shook my phone. It's enough to send you to a juvenile detention center. He collapsed to the ground like a kicked dog. I turned and walked away. My steps light. Like I was walking on clouds. In the hospital corridor, Mom and Grandma were talking to a doctor. When Grandma saw me, she rushed over and slapped me. Murderer. I didn't dodge. The pain in my cheek was sharp, and the taste of blood filled my mouth. It was satisfying. This real pain. The patient has severe intracranial hemorrhaging and multiple organ failure. The doctor spoke warily. We did everything we could, but... Mom collapsed onto the floor. Grandma's loud wails attracted the attention of security. I stood to the side. Like a cold, indifferent observer. It's all your fault. You killed my granddaughter. Grandma screamed, pointing at me. You cursed her to death. Quiet. The doctor scolded. This is a hospital. I crouched down and leaned close to Grandma's ear. Grandma. Do you know why Lavinia jumped? I whispered. Because she found out that the system that made me gain weight turned on her. The more she ate, the thinner she got. Grandma's cloudy eyes widened. How do you know? I know more than you think. I stood up. For example, when Lavinia was 6. It was you who taught her to add hormone pills to my milk, wasn't it? Mom shot up in shock. What? Lies. Grandma screamed shrilly. But her trembling hands betrayed her. The moment the doctor announced Lavinia's death, Grandma fainted. In the chaos of the ER, Mom grabbed my arm. Sarah. What did you mean by hormone pills? Guessing. I shook her hand off. But now I'm sure. On the way home, Mom kept crying. I sat in the taxi, scrolling through my phone. The campus network was exploding. Photos of Jax and being taken away by the police were spreading across all the group chats. The class monitor had voluntarily resigned. And the people who'd once bullied me were all posting public apologies. Miav sent me a message, "You're so cool. Now the whole school's talking about your sister's mess. And those little followers of hers are like stray dogs." I replied with a smile. Then opened the transformation record account. My followers had surpassed 100. Thyro. I posted my final update. Day 150. The finish line. Thanks to all the malice. It was the best weight loss medicine. The photo was in black and white on the edge of the Jinx AU apartment's rooftop. A single bird soaring across the empty blue sky. At home, Grandma had been sent to the hospital. She had suffered a stroke. Mom numbly packed up Lavinia's room, pulling out a cardboard box from beneath the bed. Sarah. Her voice trembled. This is as. Inside the box were all my things. Shredded certificates. Cut up uniforms. Broken stationery. At the bottom was a bottle of medicine with the label children's growth hormone. Mom collapsed to her knees, crying like a child. I stood in the doorway, feeling an odd sense of calm. The next day, the local newspaper published the headline, "Famous eating live streamer Lavinia dies from anorexia." Had long-term lie bullied younger sister. The accompanying photo showed a snapshot of Lavinia at her peak as a live streamer, contrasted with her emaciated appearance before her death. Dad called from Switzerland, his voice hoarse. "Are you satisfied now? Your sister's dead. Grandma had a stroke. And your mom's mentally shattered." "Dad," I interrupted. "Do you remember the little dog you gave me for my 10th birthday?" There was a brief silence on the other end. "It was hit by a car the next day. Do you remember?" I said softly. "Last night. I dreamed Lavinia told me before she died that it was her who let the dog out of the cage." "You're insane." Dad's voice trembled. "Maybe." I hung up the phone and began packing my bags. Mom stood in the doorway, her eyes swollen and red. "You're leaving?" "Yeah. Going to Shanghai. A sports brand wants me as their ambassador." I stuffed the last book into my suitcase. "I've paid the rent for 6 months. That should be enough for you to recover." "Zara." She choked. "I'm sorry. It doesn't matter anymore." I closed the suitcase. "By the way, Jackson got expelled. He has video footage of Lavinia changing clothes." I smiled. "Do you think he'll tell the police that it was Lavinia who made him record it?" Mom's face turned pale. I took one last look at the nightmare-filled room and grabbed my suitcase. "Goodbye, Mom." As I left the complex, a few of the girls who had once mocked me were gathered at the gate. When they saw me, they scattered like they'd seen a ghost. I purposely walked toward the one who had insulted me the most. "Omana, I heard you got into BIY with a direct recommendation?" Her face turned pale. "You? How do you know?" "Guessing." I smiled. After all, the recommendation letter was written by Silas. And he just so happens to know about the time you cheated in the English competition in sophomore year. I leaned in close to her ear. "By the way, your boyfriend Wang Lei asked me out to dinner yesterday. His hands really aren't innocent." I laughed loudly as I walked away. The train station was bustling with people. I bought an iced Americano, took a photo, and posted it to my newly created account, Next Stop, Life. As I put my phone down, I could almost hear her voice whispering in my ear, "Task completed. System deactivated." But when I turned around, there was only the crowd of strangers hurrying by. The end. In my past life, my sister got pregnant before marriage. And her boyfriend ran away. She actually wanted my fiancé, Caleb, to take responsibility. "Sister, Caleb is mine." I slapped her. "You have no shame. To marry Caleb." My sister poisoned me to death and took my place at the wedding. Because she was pregnant, Caleb had to take responsibility. My sister lived a comfortable life trampling on my flesh and blood. Now I've been reborn. No shame at all. I woke up, alive. In this life, I will never be killed by that crazy woman. I must stay far away from her. As soon as I left my room, I saw my sister kissing her boyfriend. In the 1980s, and in 80s. This was a scandalous thing. I covered my eyes and walked away. You're not as pretty as me." Irish rolled her eyes at me. I put a basin of clothes into a wooden tub and went to the river with a washing stick and soap. My fiancé, Caleb, hurried over to carry the tub for me. "Serena, when you marry me, I'll never make you do laundry. I haven't even agreed to marry you yet." I lowered my head, suddenly tearing up. He had always been good to me. If only the dirty things from my past life had never happened. Would I have been happier if I married him? Caleb wiped my tears, looking heartbroken. "Serena, why are you crying? Are you being wronged? Tell me who bullied you, and I'll fight them." I splashed water at him, feeling depressed. "What if another woman schemes to trap you into taking responsibility? I only love you and will only marry you. I had a dream where a bad woman poisoned your food. You passed out. And she claimed the pregnancy was yours. I didn't want the bad luck from my past life to come true." Caleb pinched my face tenderly. "It's my fault for not making you feel secure. I'll be careful not to let anyone manipulate me. I only want to marry you and make you happy. He loves me deeply now. But who knows how things might change? Our love is simple. And I believe in waiting until marriage. He's different from other men and respects my choices. But women like my sister rush into relationships. Most men don't cherish women. And when a woman gets pregnant before marriage, she's the one blamed, not the man. It's too hard to find a responsible man. That's why I value good character in a man. Many scumbags are enabled by their bad nature and a forgiving environment. Serena, I'll love you forever. Caleb looked at me intently. His eyes filled with endless affection. I cheered up, and he helped me wash the clothes. Back then, everyone did laundry by hand, only the wealthy could afford washing machines. Most families made their daughters and daughters-in-law do housework. They wouldn't waste money on appliances. Just then, let out a low sigh. He saw my undergarments. His face instantly turned red. I didn't mean to look. I quickly covered his eyes. Don't look. He obediently turned his back to me. I won't. I'll wash them for you in the future. Stop it. You. Few men were willing to wash their wives' clothes back then. They thought it was unlucky. But why wasn't it unlucky for women to do it? It was all double standards. A good man like Caleb was tricked by a venomous woman, forced to raise another man's child, while my happiness was stolen and my mother didn't care. After all, my mother never loved me. Just thinking about those disgusting things made me want to vomit blood. But few days later, Iris started crying. Mom, I keep vomiting. Am I going to die? You stupid girl. Are you pregnant? I told you to be careful. Now you've shamed us women, get cursed for this. Why don't they curse the man? I can't get pregnant alone. Iris sobbed and hit her stomach. Will Derek take responsibility? He's a womanizer. With his dad working at the supply and marketing cooperative, he has no shortage of women. He said he'll love me forever and take responsibility. You believe men's lies? Back then, I just test him. If he refuses, tell him it's another man's child. Don't admit the pregnancy. My mother was also promiscuous. My sister learned her lack of self-respect from her. When mom got pregnant and was abandoned, everyone told her to die. My grandmother gave her herbal medicine to induce a miscarriage. Both men and women are at fault in such situations. But in those days, women were expected to have children only after marriage. Otherwise, they'd be cursed while men faced no consequences. Iris had no choice but to confront her boyfriend. Sure enough, the scumbag said, "Don't you dare lie to me. My parents will never approve. I'm going to marry a proper lady. Know your place. If you're pregnant, we're done." Of course I'm not pregnant, I was just asking. Iris held back her anger and pain, forcing a smile. In that moment, she realized she'd been cheated by a scumbag. She refused to admit defeat. I look down on women like you, fine for dating, but never for marriage. Iris hid and cried, then saw Caleb taking me for a ride on his bike. She decided to make Caleb the fall guy. Bitch. Why do you deserve happiness? I got used and dumped. Humph. I'll marry Caleb. Thankfully, in this life, I have mind-reading powers and heard her plan. Iris brought chicken soup to Caleb's house. Caleb, this is from your future sister-in-law. Thanks, Sister Iris. Serena is so good to me. Caleb was delighted and picked up the soup. We rarely had chicken, and I'd never made soup for him. Mom would have beaten me if a chicken went missing. She, my sister, and brother could eat chicken, but not me. As the middle child, I was always neglected. I rushed in and knocked the soup away, shattering the bowl. Caleb, I didn't make this. I saw her put something in it. Caleb turned to Iris, glaring. How could you be so vicious? I didn't. Iris hated me fiercely. She'd slathered her face with scented cream and dusted it with flour to look paler. She stormed off, gnashing her teeth. I sighed in relief, and Caleb helped me sit down. I didn't know she was lying. My sister wants to trick you into sleeping with her. She's already pregnant. And the father abandoned her. She wants you to take the blame. What? How can she be so evil? Caleb clenched his fists in anger. Sadly, Family scandals are hard to hide. I didn't want to say anything. I deliberately wiped away tears. Just then, our neighbor aunt heard us. She was a notorious gossip. Sure enough, the whole village found out about Iris's premarital pregnancy. Mom, Grandma, and Iris were all cursed. Iris was so angry she tried to drown herself. But Mom pulled her back. Don't die for that scumbag. We'll live better than him. I'll set you up with a wealthy man from out of town. Don't worry. Okay. Mom made Iris take medicine to induce a miscarriage. She screamed in pain like a pig. The villagers talked endlessly. But we couldn't afford to move. Now Mom just wanted to marry Iris off quickly. Serena, you should let your sister have Caleb. Why not let Caleb marry her? Mom gave me a chicken drumstick, shamelessly suggesting. What kind of mother are you? Why don't you give your own benefits to me? She's older than me, how dare you tell me to yield to her? Other mothers and sisters love their younger siblings. But you hate me. Not all mothers are qualified. In this life, I hate these family members deeply. Without love, they're not really family. Am I destined to have no family bonds in this life? I also want to be loved. To have a family that truly cares for me. Why do so many women lack both family love and romantic love? If I can't have lots of love, then please, universe, give me lots of money instead. How can you be such a sister? Do I have to beg you? You must listen to me. I'm your mother. Adults always use, I'm your parent, to morally blackmail. You gave birth to me but never loved me. Parents can't dictate their children's lives. Even if they provide love and money, they can't control their children forever. Useless people who get stepped on by others suddenly want to be masters, once they have kids. Why can't these lowly creatures love their children genuinely? I will never forgive the harm my family caused. When family members abuse and neglect children, it's better to be an orphan. Mom flew into a rage. Spitting as she shouted, "You're so vicious. She's your sister. You must think of her." I slammed my bowl on the floor, rebelling like never before. If you don't fight back, monsters will keep bullying you. Iris came with a rope. If you don't give Caleb to me, I'll kill myself. Go ahead. Then. The sooner you die, the better. With your venom, you'll probably be reborn as a snake. Mom. Look at her. She wailed. I took the rope and looped it around her neck. If you want to die, I'll help you. Iris quickly tore the rope off. Mom, save me. She's trying to kill me. I slapped her. You're the vicious one. Disgusting. In my past life, Mom often slapped me. I wanted to hit her back, but the pressure of filial piety stopped me. When I'm stronger, I'll slap back. Just because they gave birth to me. Do they have the right to abuse me? And I'm not allowed to fight back? Disgusting monsters. Mom actually went to the kitchen and held a knife to my neck. Give Caleb to my precious Iris. Or I'll kill you. Why was I born to monsters like you? I shouted hoarsely. My heart shattered. Just kill me. Do it now. Better to escape this torture sooner than suffer a miserable life. Mom gritted her teeth. Furious. Ungrateful wretch, die. Just then, we sub out. Caleb brushed in with a broom. He pulled me into his arms and hit Mom in the face with the broom. You're so cruel, how can you hurt your own daughter? I clung to Caleb and sobbed. When I needed warmth most, he was there for me. Caleb, I can't forgive him. Don't cry. My love. I'm here. And I'll protect you for a lifetime. Will you marry me? Baby? I'll love you with all my heart. I know that even in marriage, you find happiness when coming from a broken family. Sometimes it's just like jumping from one hell to another. Let's not rush. I still want to rely on myself. Women also have two hands and can stand tall as heaven and earth. I won't treat marriage as salvation. Anyway, I'll always be by your side and cherish you. Caleb approached the village chief, and my mother was fined. She hated me even more. To escape the hell of my toxic family, I had to leave. I'd learn a craft and never let myself starve. So what if no family or man loves me? The system gave me 50 yuan as startup capital A fortune in the 1980s. Snacks were scarce back then. And food is fundamental. I decided to make Wosai Fen's tinky rice noodles to get rich. The river was full of field snails and river snails. The latter were better for soup. I bought pork bones, chili oil, scallions, and more. Then simmered a delicious Wosai Fen broth. I bought land and a house in the county to start my business. During the trial opening, crowds lined up. Oh my God! This is divine, so delicious. I want to buy some. So good. My mom. Savory, sour, spicy, and unforgettable. I also sold snail stew with duck feet, chicken feet, pork and beef innards, and more. More customers came from afar. And I even started a taxi service to bring guests to my shop. Caleb helped whenever he was free. Wow. This comrade is so handsome. Go buy some. The boss is beautiful too, they're a perfect match. So jealous. Caleb wiped my sweat. He was still a regiment commander then. But he'd become a division commander in a few years. Most men with power looked down on the poor and wouldn't help their wives. But he loved me and didn't care about such things. At lunch, he fed me. I love you, baby. My face turned as red as an apple. I love you too. I got my allowance, let's go shopping later? I want to spend money on you. Caleb's eyes were full of love. And I thought he was amazing. But love is sweet at first, only to turn bitter or even bloody later. Loving someone for a lifetime is so hard. You keep spending money on me, shouldn't you say, for your future wife? What if we break up? Caleb covered my mouth, pouted, and teared up. I don't want us to break up. I must have done something wrong for you to leave me. It's only right for a man to spend money on his love. Being stingy means no wife. You're so silly. My shop was booming, with female employees helping out to make more money. I opened 24 hours a day, selling even more dishes. I bought houses and stores in the city, determined to take Wosai Fen nationwide. For every yuan I earned, the system rewarded me with 10 yuan. So I'd amassed a fortune. I didn't tell anyone about my wealth, fearing others would approach me for money. No one can be fully trusted in this world. I just wanted to be a good person, help women find jobs, and have a clear conscience. My female employees earned more than male ones for the same work. Loving kind women is what a female boss should do. Many abused or penniless women got jobs, becoming self-sufficient and avoiding mistreatment. I supported their divorces and helped them through. Any female employee suffering domestic violence got a 1.0 yuan red envelope upon divorce. And I covered their children's school fees. I even opened schools to remove their worries. Often, women endure abuse for their kids, fearing homelessness and starvation. Men who beat their wives were teleported by the system to public restrooms, trapped there forever. Caleb took me to department stores and bought me perfume, lipstick, and more. My baby is the most beautiful. I love buying you everything. You're so good, Caleb. My big watery eyes drove him crazy. You deserve my all. I'll never let you suffer. Trust me, Hathai Losai. My love for you will only grow after marriage. Caleb bowed firmly. I loved him deeply too. If he stayed good, I'd never choose another. Such a good man was truly captivating. I loved his character, not his rank. Baby, Yidadadalmosai. I really want to marry you. After we wed, you'll only enjoy life, no housework, and we won't live with parents. Few men made such promises. And my heart raced. But how many could keep them? Men often break their word. Anyway, I'm not afraid of divorce. I just want happiness. If you're not as good as before, I won't stay. As a successful boss, I wouldn't let marriage hold me back. Baby, I only love you and will never let you down. Caleb held my hands tenderly. He'd spent millions on me. You're amazing. The average person earned only 80 yuan a month. Jewels have always been precious. A symbol of love. Aren't these too expensive? I don't care, I'd give you everything I have. Caleb never regretted spending money. Coming from a wealthy family and never embezzling. He joined the army for ideals. Loyal to the country and people. Always earning promotions through merit. Such a down-to-earth man made me fall even harder. I loved him for who he was, not his status. Baby, I really want to marry you. After marriage, You'll only enjoy happiness, no housework. And we won't live with parents. Such men were rare, making my heart flutter. But how many could keep their promises? Men often break their word. Anyway, I'm not afraid of divorce. I just want happiness. If a man isn't as good after marriage as before, I won't stay. As a successful boss, having fulfilled I wouldn't let marriage drag me down. Baby, I only love you, and will never make you suffer. Caleb held my hands, gazing at me tenderly. He'd spent millions on gifts. You're too kind. The average person earned just 80 you on a month. Jewels have always been a symbol of deep love. This is too extravagant. I love you and want to spoil you. Caleb held my hand tightly. Stop, people are watching. I'll hold your hand forever and never let go. Caleb refused to let go, lifting my hand to kiss it gently. Caleb, you're the best. We dated for another year. Our love as strong as ever. He proposed with custom-made ancient wedding attire and jewelry. Since my family didn't care for me, he gave only 1,000 yuan as bride price but showered me with gifts. We married without inviting my family, starting our journey sweetly. Caleb gave me a beautiful mansion, promising to make me his princess forever. My love, I'll always adore you. He held me close, breathing heavily. I was nervous but overwhelmingly happy. Iris was judged everywhere she went. Her ex-boyfriend was getting married, and she burned with jealousy. At their wedding, she poisoned the food. The villagers, bride, and groom all fell ill. You made me suffer. How dare you be happy? You all deserve to die with me. I'm sorry. Save me, baby. The scumbag crawled on the floor, begging Iris to take him to the hospital. She poured boiling soup on his face. You betrayed me. Made me a laughingstock. Why isn't anyone cursing you? How dare you marry happily? You all should die. Iris kicked him and the bride, sluts. Don't think you can steal my happiness. All who wronged me deserve to die. God. You're so unfair. Why am I not as pretty or happy as my sister? It's all your fault for making me ugly. If I were beautiful, I could marry a chief. She hated me. Jealous of my good life. Whoa. All you sluts. I'll kill anyone who treats me badly. Iris grew more deranged. Hacking the scumbag with a kitchen knife. I'll make you die a miserable death. With no grave. All who wrong me will become monsters. She attacked everyone in sight. When the police arrived, they pinned her down. Don't move. Let me go. I'll kill you all. You're vicious, poisoning so many people. They deserved it for hurting me. All who gossip about me should die. My mother knelt and begged me. Daughter. Save your sister. We're family. I didn't compassionate. She committed murder and arson. Should she go free? Is there no justice? Why did these monsters never learn? She's your sister forever. We're family, you must help her. If she dies, I'll die too. I laughed coldly. Then go ahead. Keep your word. Why pity those who never loved me? Even tried to kill me? You have no heart. No wonder your mother never loved you. My mother pointed at me. Furious. She wished I were in prison instead. She wanted me to die for my sister. Isn't that your doing? Spoiling children never ends well. With your vile nature, you couldn't raise a good person. Get away from me. With mind reading, I saw how venomous her heart was. I'd cherish myself and never let anyone hurt me. My mother knelt helplessly as I walked away. Feeling happy, I decided to go shopping. With love and a thriving career, I no longer needed family love. Caleb met me at a jewelry store, holding a gift box and hugging me. What a coincidence. Baby, I bought you new jewelry as a surprise. My love, I adore you. I held him tightly. Happy life was addictive. Sweetheart, I love you too. Caleb put the jewelry on me. He loved showering me with treasures as his way of loving. So I'd keep being happy. He accompanied me to the next store, never complaining about spending. Wives are meant to be spoiled. May we live every year without worry. In peace and joy.